So, last update towards the character. Basically, last update towards the character. I'm gonna move towards guide creation, I think. I really like the character, so I think it's worth creating a bit of a guide around it, just on how I did it, basically, maybe a bit beginner friendly. Yeah, in terms of where we're at. As you can already see at the character, we completed challenges. That's also, I'm gonna give a bit of a challenge guide in a second. We did 38 out of 40 so far. But I'm gonna talk about that in a second. Character itself is 97 by now, naturally leveled, so I didn't go for any 5-ways there. I did actually way back from 90 to 94 on my very initial league strategy, still with the different version of the character. It was a very, very scuffed version, but was able to farm 4 mirror shards actually. I know the video back then says 2 mirror shards, but it's not entirely true. It was actually 4 mirror shards within 3 days, but 2 of those mirror shards went to a friend of mine that helped me out pretty much in the first 24 hours of the league. Helped me out quite a bit, so half of the profit was his. That's yeah, roughly how far we got there. So it was a good league start currency-wise, but it was very rippy and broken and odd. And then if you have seen the videos or want to go through them, we swapped to a way more tanky version of the build, which is this one. In terms of gearing, it's still pretty much the same. So the last video, the one Seismic feels super good or whatever, is still basically the current state of the character. I'm gonna move towards guide creation and refine things, because some of that stuff is just way more expensive than it needs to be, and you're gonna be stages and stuff. The only thing that actually changed since that video is I got a crappy boot enchant for, yeah, because I just did labs, so that's what I got. No helmet enchant for me still, and I recrafted my chest. So I went ahead, and because there's like a chest crafting video now, I felt weird having not the exact same chest I showcased there, so I just crafted it for myself. Cost me, it was pretty lucky. I think 7 divine, roughly 8 maybe. Not entirely sure. It's a bit weird with tiny currency, but roughly around that stage. And I sold my my previous chest for 10 divines, so that was really, really good. Which was worth more because I failed crafting it, but it's okay. So I made a bit of a profit by recrafting basically my chest. Nothing else changed. Oh, actually this changed. I managed to get the 5 or the chaos damage over time multiplier, because apparently I failed before and I had fire damage over time multiplier, so I was unable to read. Essentially no updates. I think I did some maybe quality. Yeah, I did this quality thing. I tried actually to do the lake thing once, so I failed one lake thing. Here it is. I almost hit it basically. I got my 2 upsides with life and damage over time, but sadly 3 downsides, and then obviously one of them hit intelligence, so almost got a mirror one, but I didn't get any more mirror chances, and I wasn't in the mood to buy them, to gamble on it, because that really wasn't necessary. So here we go. And also there's another video about a bossing setup where we swap some stuff. But yeah, that's essentially state of the character. That's how far we got. I also got a big E pedestal right now here. Unsure if I will go for the 40/40, but that's where the character will stay. Guide soon. And now we're gonna talk a bit about challenges, if you care, in respect to this specific character. I'm gonna go over all of them, but I'm gonna skip a lot of the obvious ones. I'm just gonna talk a bit about the ones that I find a bit more relevant. There's some tricks to it. I just want to share how I did it. Maybe it's helpful to someone. And in case I skip over one that you have trouble with, then just let me know, and I do my best to help you out. But all the ones I'm not gonna mention should be very straightforward and very easy to do, basically. So challenges. I think it was a pretty easy league for challenges, I assume. It's the first league I actually went for challenges big, but it didn't feel that bad, actually. So I don't know, maybe it was an easy league, who knows. What's left are the 2 super grindy ones. Obviously, Atlas grind. We're missing like 4,000 explicit. Also, maybe for context, I think that's what people do, right? We can do kills. So it took me a bit over 500,000 kills. And what's the other one? Played, I guess, is also maybe interesting for that. That's 5 days played. And also, which is really interesting. Don't get crazy about this number, but it's like over 300 death, which the vast majority, I think like maybe 280, 260 is from the very beginning of the league. And yeah, corpse rushing, invitation farming, just for pure money. So in terms of after that, I mean, I got to 97, so by now there's no more dying after you swap the character to a tanky version. Yeah, that for context, like, I don't know if that's interesting or not. Let's start with complete endgame grinds, a bit on how you would complete them or how I would complete them if I would go for it. I do believe that level 100 is surprisingly far. I feel like that's something that's easily underestimated. I never did it, but it feels really far away. It's already very, very slow to get levels, and character isn't immortal, so you can technically die on a very, very long journey. But entirely possible to go for 100 with this character. You can also go for carries, like 5-way carries, a totally viable way to get to 100. And if you want to pay for getting to 100, then it's 100% the best way to do it. Especially with this of a tanky for character, you're never gonna die in a 5-way. There's almost no way to do that. So yeah, there's that. Argus is pretty easy actually. It's just really grindy. You just need 100 of these offerings, just normal ones. You wait for a day where Argus isn't like in the first room. You rush to that room, you do that 100 times, and then you're done. So very grindy. You can go for that. You can just not. Atlas memories on tier 16 maps also really, really easy. You just need to buy. It's annoying. You need to buy these Atlas memories and then put them on your Atlas. Also make sure you have all the watchstones, because then it doesn't really matter where you place it. I've always placed it on Mesa for a different strategy. So it just always hits T16 maps. And the only thing you need to do for that is complete the map. So basically kill the map boss. That's all you need to do. You don't need to interact with the memory thing itself. So you can just use harbingers or something, like really cheap ones. You just do them one by one, and then yeah, you're gonna complete this relatively quickly. But grindy, buy the invitations. Buying the invitations is, or the memories is the issue here. Reflections is just you're gonna run lakes, right? And you're gonna need to build these lakes in T16 maps essentially, because there's a requirement of 83 area level. That's T16. So you just build lakes, run T16s, and then everything above like that is like 4 tiles or at least 3 tiles away from the entrance. Every single one you complete there. So you make them gray basically on the overview. It's gonna counter that. Apparently I did 250. I still got some lakes, I believe, lying around. I got some prepared still. So very natural. No difficulty in doing that. Delve Syndicate Mastermind. These, unless you're somehow farming this, I don't think that's a challenge to go for. But super simple. Temples are probably rather easy. Syndicate is rather easy. Maybe if you're a Delver. I don't know how Delving with this build is. I didn't try, but should be fine, I guess. Or Bestiary as well. And the last one is Maven Invitations. So yeah, you just do some invitation farming actually. So if that's your strategy anyway, I would definitely spec into that, because that's a lot of invitations. Spec fully into that, do full invitation farming stuff, like the Formed or however the other one's called. How's it called? Twisted. Yeah, Formed or Twisted. So Elder or Shaper Guardian invitation farming. Spec into this like fully. In case you don't know how, it's like getting this node here. No, this one here for sure. Right, so you get the double fragments for selling, and then you spec into the full Maven stuff, including Height of Hubris, and get a lot of like quant and whatever. And then I have a video on it. So you get like 7 or 8 Maven things, how they're called. Like these crust splinters every time you do it, and then just prints money at pretty much any time in the league. It just prints money even still now. Not a heist farm, but yeah, make some money off that. So if I were to do it, I would probably do Argus or 100 if I feel like getting to 100 anyway, because of form of an achievement. So one of these two, definitely Atlas Memories, definitely Reflections. Not going to do this one. and do the Maven invitations, because you only need to do 4 of this, right? So that's how you complete this. This one is also pretty simple. I mean, you run maps, right? In case you just want to complete the challenge, after you did this one already, after you did essentially the reflections, yeah, you can do some boss rushing, basically. I mean, you could either go for tier 16 maps and do some kind of boss rushing there, but it seems a bit hard because you need like, I'm going to need still probably 700 maps to complete this, like on average, by alking and corrupting them. Because corrupting a map has a chance to make it have eight modifiers. That's when they break into this huge map, then they have 8 modifiers. They have like 4 prefixes, 4 suffixes, so you get more out of it. So you would just like alk all your maps, corrupt all your maps, sort out what you really can't do. If you're actually just boss rushing, the only thing you really can't do, or I really wouldn't do, is no region. Everything else, if it's boss rushing on Mesa or something, that should be fine. If you don't care about the map tier anymore, so you don't need to build your lakes anymore, and you actually just want this number to go up as fast as possible, I don't see a reason why you wouldn't go with like super low tier maps, like white tier, super fast maps, maybe Mesa as well, probably Mesa as well. Alk them, corrupt them, just run them, probably even no region, doesn't matter there, just run them. We don't die to reflect, and then just get this number up, but that would be very, very tedious, I believe. That would be horrible and very boring, and you wouldn't get anything out of that, not even the Exarch or Eater invitations, because I think they require level 14. Yeah, that's also something you can do, just do 14s or something like that. So that's how I would complete them if I were to go for it. Not sure if I will, I might. But these are just super, super grindy. It depends a bit rest of the league. So, other things. This is all super, super easy. In terms of essences, the 2 more interesting one, I believe here is to have 2 essence with at least 6, or monsters with 6 essence in 5 seconds. That's actually not that hard. If you spec into essences, you get 1 tier higher, which is useful because you need shrieking essences. Because of this note here, if there's a shrieking essence on the mob, at least one of them, one shrieking, it's not deafening. If it's like, I'm definitely gonna sell this right now. It's not if there's only deafening ones, it doesn't count. It's not shrieking or higher, it's shrieking. There needs to be 1 shrieking at least. They're gonna duplicate. So if you have a really, really juicy essence, then you're gonna duplicate it, and that already counts for the for this achievement here. It's not 2 essences things you need to open, it's just 2 monsters. So you can do it with 1 essence that has a shrieking on it, and other nodes like all these like additional essence one, and especially this one, make it super, super easy to find one of these. Just make sure you kill them pretty much at the same time. With this build, super easy because it's seismic, everything dies at the same time. You're not single target. So that's super easy. The releasing of Hysteria, Insanity, Horror ones, that's the ones you get by corrupting the essences you see. You use this thing on them, and you need to use it on one of these, I believe. I'm not sure if these count as well. They might, but these for sure. So if stuff gets really pink, yeah, throw one of these on it, or if there's just a lot of it, also throw one of these, and then sometimes you get these different ones. Just a matter of time. Super easy, no problem. But yeah, that's how you did this one. Abyss. In terms of Abyss, I did spec into it. The more interesting ones is the depth. It's this one I'm going to talk about in a second, and it's finding the bosses. What I did is I spec, let's look it up real quick. Or to do this, I spec'd into this node here, because why not? I just get more experience, I get more monsters. If I'm doing Abyss anyway, spec'd into this. I spec'd just into this node, like going down here, because this gives you a higher chance to get the depth, and a significantly higher chance to find one of the bosses, and that's how you get the boss thing, and also how you get more of these depths encounters. So by the time you do 75 of them, you easily complete these 2, especially with this node. If you have your depths done and your boss done. You could technically spec out of this, but yeah, it's also Stygian Devices down there. And I also spec'd into this because it gives you more abysses, because you can have more than one abyss on a map, even if you force it via a scarab. So I just run that, put scarabs on. Also during most of these challenges, I'm just going to mention this one, once you can use your map device, right? So that's, or is it? I think Abyss was on it, yeah. So it's only free Chaos Orbs. So it's super easy to just add Abyss. You don't even need scarabs. If you have them anyway, use them. And you get a lot of free crafts anyway. So I mostly did it with free crafts, like free of charge. So that wasn't a big issue. The one with 5 abysses was super easy as well. I see a lot of people struggling with it, like on Reddit, people asking, it doesn't really work. There's, depending on the map, there's high chances that if you have like a tiny map of like little pathways and stuff, then abysses sometimes don't really spawn or they don't really count. So it's kind of weird. What I did is I used the map device craft here. That gives us 2 abysses, and I used a winged scarab, which adds 3 abysses. So we have 5, and I did it on a, make sure it's at least T14. I did it on a dunes map. So, and it worked first try. So that's probably it. That was super easy. That's how I did it. And then, yeah, you just knock it out. Nothing difficult about it. Ambush has 2 interesting parts. It's just strongboxes, but the operative and the cartographer one can be troublesome. In general, if you want to do it just on maps, operative, pretty easy. You just need this node here. 6% chance you're gonna find one very quickly. No problem with that. I also take this node because it requires stuff to be corrupted and rare, so it's automatically there, so you cannot accidentally click one that you forget to corrupt. Obviously these nodes as well. And so that's how you get these operative ones. The cartographer ones, there's actually nodes here. There's 2 nodes. This one is not, and this one is not. So I just take these 2 nodes to add them to the pool, I believe, or at least make them more likely. Point is, I didn't find one. In my entire mapping, I have not seen a single normally spawned cartographer, even with these nodes. It's like impossible. What I've heard is that people say just do lower level maps, like really tier 1 to tier 4 maps, because they're way more common there, which is really odd, because I get that this early it would be more helpful and it would be worse later, but this is so deep into the tree. This is like the worst placed nodes I've ever seen. That's like really odd, but fine. So chances are you're not going to encounter them normally in your maps, but you have 2 other places where they can appear, and what I would recommend. Number 1 is lakes. If you find in the lake a tile that says strongboxes and has some upgrade thingies on it and says like less common ones or whatever, it's like a tier 2 free thing, then it has a way higher chance. Like if you see that, put it on your lake, run the lake. Good chance of finding it. The other one is Alva temples. There's Alva temples that have like tier 3 strongbox chambers. You can just buy them on trade, look for them, figure out how the name exactly is, buy it on trade, go in there. Quite a high chance for me as well. That's where I got it on first try again. Got one of these temples, went in, opened it up, and that's yeah, pretty much done. That's how you have a significantly easier time getting this one, and then all the other ones are very common. Oh yeah, the Val Vessel one I think is also, it's like the temple when the corrupted temple thing, something like that. You just look it up on the wiki, but it's on like specific maps, so you can open these here. That's strongboxes. Heist. Oh, Heist took quite a long time actually to do. What it did is I just did not block Heist for the majority of the league. After it's one of the last ones I did, so I just had a huge pool of contracts and blueprints lying around. So that's how I started with it. Getting any job to level 5, super easy. You just get one rogue to level 5. The only job they can level to 5 is the first one they have in the overview, by the way. That's, I believe, is the only one that counts. I don't know if rogue gear counts. So if you have some level 4, if you can boost it, I don't know. But yeah, you just get one naturally to level 5 anyway. Opening reward chest 81 or higher is pretty easy. I believe these are the bigger reward chests, not the tiny ones. I believe it's the bigger ones are the only ones that count here. Already you can see it's a lot of level 81, so I would only run 81 contracts. Running 50 contracts, super easy, just quite tedious, but you shouldn't blindly run them. What I recommend is getting a free winged blueprint for each of them first, and then unveiling them. Like unveiling or revealing, it's called. Reveal the wings, and then it tells you what rogues you're gonna need at what job level to actually complete this specific contract. And then you're gonna run all of these and level up the specific rogues you need. So you know what contracts to run, what rogues to take. So if at the end of this, if you're done with this, you actually have the rogues required to run your blueprints. So that's like the order of operation I would highly recommend. I didn't really do that, so I ended up running quite more contracts because I didn't have like a level 5 agility, which I needed, or something like that. If you already have everything leveled up, I would recommend, if you just need to do this, then look for 81 deception contracts, because they still have doors and stuff on the way in, but they do not have blocking doors on the way out. So it's way quicker to get back out of it. And I believe to complete the contract, you actually need to get to the end. You only need to get to the end, grab the thing, and get it back out. That's how you complete a contract. So that's a bit quicker. If you just need to knock out more and you don't need rogue leveling anymore, then it's deception contracts. Should be fine. Especially if you have them. If you have to buy them, they are probably quite expensive, so buy cheaper ones. That's Heist. Legion, super easy. The interesting part here is the war hordes, I believe. The war hordes, and also basically this as well. Completing legions, super easy. Happens while doing the war hordes. Unlocking the 5th slot in the map device is doing one of these 5-way, 4-way or 4-way or whatever legion encounters. Also the same here is in this 4-way or 5-way, however it's called, encounters. And yeah, both of these you can do very, very simply, either by doing it yourself probably, but that seems risky. So you just go on TFT, and there are 5-way carries, I think it's called. You buy one of these 5-way carries, you go in there, and you unlock these two easily because they are 100% getting 25 rewards, and you on the process unlock this. So just get a single carry, and you're done with that, and get some XP while you're at it. The war hordes and the normal legion ones. What I did for that, because it was quite simple actually. What I did is let me have a look. I didn't care about containing legion encounters. I just forced them. Again, I think they are on the map device again. So check the map device. If not, use a scarab. And here, this was also not... this one, yeah. It's the last line. They take the monsters take 50% increased damage while in stasis. So while you still need to pack them out of this whole thing, they take so much more damage. Makes it very, very easy, especially for the build. The build doesn't blow up entire legions, and war hordes are quite tanky. So yeah, gives you somewhat time. Here's also some increased duration. There's some increased duration. There's not. So take increased duration. Take this. And the other one I took only down here is each legion in your map contains an additional war horde. So that was basically the idea. And what you can do with scarabs before you use the map device is, do we still have one? I hope. Legion. Oh yeah, here, legion ones. If you go for, here, polished ones. It also says each legion contains a war horde, and the other thing says an additional war horde. So it means you get 2 war hordes per legion. So what does per legion mean? It's not per monolith, it's per legion that is fighting each other. So each monolith has 2 legions. Each of them has 2 war hordes. So every time you do one of the monoliths, you get 4 war hordes. You just need to find them. So they are usually pretty much at the back. So you already know you open the monolith, run in one direction, kill 2 war hordes, turn around, kill the other 2 on the other side, and then you progress the war horde thing very, very simply and very, very quickly. and way faster than you need to, because you need to do 30 legions anyway. In this case, I believe it's monoliths. So also you can get more than one per map. I did this on dunes because there's a lot of space. If it's like, I don't know, some map that doesn't have a lot of space, then you might have trouble getting to the war hordes, or then maybe they don't even spawn. So do this on dunes. Super simple, super easy to knock out. Blight. Blight is also an interesting one, actually. One thing I didn't know, and was quite annoying to me, actually, and I believe I still have it. Where is it? Where's my Blight chest here? I still have a lot of Blighted maps. Because it turns out that completing a Blight encounter does not mean a Blight in a Blighted map. That straight up doesn't count for some odd reason. So yeah, it actually means normal maps where the Blight Lady is standing around. So you need to do those. Can also get more than one per map. Again, there's scarabs for that stuff. There's crafts for that stuff. Super easy to do. Blight bosses. These actually count in Blighted maps, if I'm correct. And there's also scarab stuff that adds more of them. You know, you get like more Blight bosses, but you're gonna do this naturally. There's gonna be so many of them. Super, super fine. So yeah, you can do this in the Blighted maps or in normal ones. Still enough bosses there until you did 30. The more interesting one is a rare and corrupted Blight map with 8 mods. So you take at least tier 14, be careful with that, because a lot of them are 13, even if you drop them in a tier 16. And you ug it, and then you are going to not forget to, oh god, how is it called? Anoint them first, right? Anoint them first, then ug them, or ug them first, then anoint them, doesn't really matter. And then you're gonna corrupt them. Don't forget to anoint these things. In terms of anoints, what I did is I quality team first, and what I did is this combination here. It's just like gave myself a bit more damage and made the towers cheaper. I don't know for Blighted maps if you need more damage. Maybe you can also just make them cheaper. Some combination of the stuff, definitely at least to making the building cost, reducing the building cost. But you could also go for something like this, and then yeah, make it pretty simple and pretty easy. That's how I did all of them. It was quite simple. In terms of tactic, I'm just gonna link a video on how to do it. What I did is stun towers, freeze towers, and the meteor towers. And for that, I got these anointments on my rings here. The one with the meteor tower and burning ground, and also that chilling towers freeze. So that's super, super simple. I'm gonna link a video on how to do this. No reason for me to explain it. Same for and then yeah, you just complete it. You just complete the map. That's fine. You're done with that. Complete the rare and corrupted Blight Ravaged map. Pretty much same story. Yeah, you take your map and you can anoint these significantly more. So I would basically quality them. Can do this real quick. Boop, 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 boop. It's also in the video, so I don't know why I'm doing this. And then you can anoint them. I go for 3 of these. You can always put 9 anointments on that. 3 of the damage ones, 3 of the make everything cheaper ones. That's my map. And then I would basically go ahead and yeah, make it rare. Have a look. It has the one that it can action speed not below base value. We cannot have that one. And that's fucking the same one. Whatever this one does, this one has already, it doesn't have enough. Whatever. You get it to 5 mods, you corrupt it. Hope it doesn't blow up into 8 mods or get less mods. And then you're done, and then you follow the guide I'm gonna link, and you're just gonna complete your rare, your corrupt Blight Ravaged map. They're super easy on the build. We are super, super tanky. We don't die to these volatiles. You need to be a bit careful with the with these magma orbs that follow you. There can be a lot of them, so they definitely can kill you. The toxic volatiles. If it's not significantly over 5, I believe, it's not gonna kill you. Just be a bit careful, but no fear. That knocks out Blight. Super easy, bit grindy. Expedition. I would recommend farming Expedition anyway, so you get this naturally. If not, then yeah, you need to use vendor refresh currency. That's super easy. It's just going to one vendor and hitting refresh 50 times. You can do this anyway if you're farming 2-gen or something. The tier 14 maps with 5 or more remnants, super easy anyway. We can do every remnant, or I did every remnant except for immune to chaos damage. That's the only one I skipped. So you can click all of them, no problem. You're just gonna knock this one out. There's a logbook thing with more remnants. How I would do that is you look for something that says more remnants. Monster markers, explosive monster markers. I think there's one that has like percentage more remnants, I believe. It would be cool if you had one. I could have prepared this, but I didn't. Placement range is also not that bad. Oh, increased number of remnants. The first one, the Night of the Sun one, does have it. Area contains some percent increased number of remnants. Look for one of those on something you want to do anyway, and then just make sure you go around, pick up all the remnants, and count them while you place down the things. As soon as you have 15, just do the thing. Don't die. And you are done with that. Expedition boss, super easy. They are showing up. It's like a skull symbol on the map. So just open that. You need to explode some kind of stone thing or whatever and go in there, kill the boss. That's Expedition. Done. Surpass potential. I mean, probably not really worth talking about, but you need to socket a gem. Maybe you take one that is level 21 and then get some kind of gear that has plus to level, which you can also really do if you have this build. The same build as I do, you just take a level 20 seismic trap. You don't even need a 21, and you equip real quick 2 of these cold iron points that are super cheap right now. So if you're really struggling with the challenge, buy 2 cold iron points, socket seismic trap somewhere at level 20, or any other physical spell at level 20, equip 2 of these things real quick, cold iron points at the same time, and you're done with this challenge. Sounds kind of eerie, but getting high level gems is actually quite fine. Good old Harvest. I was specced into Harvest for a long time, like fully specced into Harvest, all the nodes, right? So this was kind of natural for the most part, like just getting crops super easy, spending life force, that's just like the spending part. I did it mostly for my chest, and I think I enchanted, I didn't even enchant this one by now, but yeah, on chest, on random rerolling, just spent some money. Harvest bosses are just kind of rare, but I believe this one here tier 4 plant are actually harvest bosses. So yeah, you probably want to be specced into this node. And then at some point you're going to find a harvest boss. I found 4 over my playtime until I specced out of Harvest, 4 harvest bosses. And they have a chance to drop the entry to the Heart of the Grove. And then whenever you drop that, you do the Heart of the Grove. I didn't drop one, not a single one. 4 harvest bosses didn't drop, so I just bought the fragment. You can just buy it, quite expensive. It's about a divine probably, or was at the time. And then you beat the Harvest Lady, basically. How's she called? Is she even here? Oh, she's not here. Interesting. Fine. You beat her. I bought this challenge. I was sick of doing Harvest. I had enough life force to do everything I wanted to do, and I just didn't drop it. So yeah, buy the invitation. That's fine. You can maybe also get it on TFT that somebody invites you to it. Tainted crafting, super simple. The only thing is that Tainted Chaos Orbs, Divine Teardrops, and the Exalted Orbs, they are quite expensive actually. So all the other ones is super cheap, or comparatively cheap. I decided to go for the Exalted Orb. I don't know why, or maybe I dropped it, I forgot. Point is, this stuff is kind of expensive, so you probably need to buy one. Also the lake has these beyond tiles you can put that give you a bunch of like tainted currency, just typically not a rare one. So just craft on a random piece of gear or something you actually want to use. Then this one is done. Form the lake. I don't think there's any way to speed this up. You just need to build lakes and then hope you find the reflection thing, and hope the reflection thing just gives you special rings. The first one is actually using the bring your own stuff Krangle machine. I did that anyway. So, and it took me quite some time. I just recently got the second base type, basically. Yeah, you just hit like the reveal button on the ones where you cannot provide your own, and then, yeah, if you're lucky enough, at some point it's just gonna show you one of the special bases, and then you get that one. So that's pretty simple. Unique realms. It's actually, I mean, you can either buy the maps, but what I did mostly is use correct missions, right? You have these correct missions here, and you can also check like the different ones, yeah? If you re-roll it, you can check all the slots where you have missions and see if some unique maps spawned. That's a very good way to get unique maps. The worst offender, in my opinion, the only one that is really expensive here, is Doriani's Machinarium. That one goes for so much money right now. What I did is I went on TFT, bought a slot. Somebody was hosting it. I paid him 60 chaos and was able to join with a bunch of others. We completed the map, and that's it. If you want to do it on your own, I highly recommend getting this node down here for scouting reports, and I think this one gives also more scouting reports. So these comprehensive ones, they fill up your like all of these slots, so you get way more chances of rolling it, and then over time, technically, you should at some point roll into that map if you're patient enough. I just got it out of the way, bought a slot on someone selling it on TFT. Next one is Perfect Ascension. That one is surprisingly difficult. I never did before a specific labyrinth. What this is about, you can get specific lab invites, like not this one here, not the basic one, but one of these three here. This is, by the way, the one for the Heist. You need one of each of these. They're all kind of cheap except for one of them, and that is the one that rewards you with 6 enchantments at the very end. So that one is kind of expensive. You can probably buy a carry for this. You can probably buy a slot somewhere. I bought the actual keys, at least 2 of them. 2 of them I'd actually dropped myself, and how I did that, it's pretty simple. I took this node for quite a while, so whenever you see a trial in your map, it sometimes says, it's not very obvious, it isn't super glowy or anything, it sometimes says that it awards a improved offering of the goddess. You don't know which one, but you do the thing, and then you loot it, and then you can farm them yourself, or you just straight up buy them. You go in there, and yeah, just complete the labyrinth. But they are not don't joke. I bricked the first one because Izaro, there's one of them that makes Izaro way stronger, and that one he one-shot me instantly with a slam. So be very careful there. If you're in there, be sure you know what you're doing. I used the bossing setup from the previous video or a few videos ago to do it, just to be sure I can kill Izaro. The other 2 still improve Izaro, but not as much. One makes traps very deadly, and one makes monsters more deadly. Both of them kind of fine. Trap 1 can be obviously quite dangerous. But then, yeah, you knock it out. If you want more information about that, go to PoE lab. They have some guides for it. Probably wait for a day with like a shorter lab, and wait for a day where Izaro isn't very dangerous. So he does not have a sword and shield, and definitely not have double swords. So I went for the 2-hand mace one. That was kind of fine. Just a slam. It's very quick and can one-shot you, depending probably what flasks are up in Molten Shell. But I died instantly there. That's pretty much that. You just need to run lab 3 times and don't die. Overcoming the lake, that one isn't hard, but you just need to keep in mind that you need to put these high-level tiles, like the basic tiles, spread them around your lake building, and you can kind of see it says something about foes, not rogue exiles or anything, and then over time by building lakes and putting them on your lake tile, you just complete them, but you kind of have to remember to do it, right? Don't go for the special ones. They're not worth it anyway. I think the basic ones are the best anyway, and then you're gonna knock this out automatically. Trip down memory lane. If you're going for the big grind anyway, that's super simple. Just make sure you buy different ones of that. Before that, it required 6. Actually, it did require you to do 6 until today, and I knocked it out yesterday, so there you go. It required 6, now it's 4, and they removed a bunch of them that didn't even exist. So now it's only 4, so you basically need to buy 4 different lake things, memory things. Just keep in mind, what counts here is not whose memory is. It doesn't matter if it's memory of Alva or Nico or whatever. It matters what league mechanic is on it. Again, for that, you don't need to interact with the league mechanic. What you actually need to do is kill the boss of the final map of this thing. So just kill each map boss. If you somehow 6 portal fail one of them, it's fine unless it's the last one. So yeah, just buy a few or find a few. I dropped actually, which is horrendous, but fine. I say again, 5 days played, 500,000 kills. I dropped a single one of these myself, which is ridiculous and really sad because it's like a new thing. And they're like, hey, there's this new thing. Log back in, try. But I just didn't find any. Yeah, you can buy them. Trial of Chaos. That's the new Trial Master thing. You have to collect from different Val areas. You have to collect a piece like this. And then I think there's 3 or 4 of them. 3 of them, basically, all of them are quite easy to find. It's like the Val Omni guy, and it's how's it called? This one from the Alluring Abyss, like Uber Aziri drops one, and the issue is one of them is hidden away on a Delve boss, and that one is super, super rare, and also you need to have a Delve boss in the first place. So yeah, it's, I think, the full invitation, buying the full invitation, and the majority of that price comes from the part that is at the Delve thing, is like 6 divines or even more, probably 7 or whatever. So I didn't even bother. I just joined a group for 1.5 divines instead of farming Delve for the end of my life, spending 6 divines solo. Joined a group. We did it with 6 people. Found that group on TFT, super, super easy. Really wasn't in the mood to Delve that long. And then you knock that one out. You just need to be present while he's dying, and that's done. Extra dimensional horrors, that's like you need to find unique beyond bosses. You can either put unique beyond stuff on your map, or you just put the lake tile. Just put the lake tile quite deep into the beyond lake tile and quite deep into your lake, kill all the rats or whatever is there, and then it's a high chance of spawning a boss. You only need 2 different ones. Super easy to knock out, but lake is, in my opinion, is the way to do this naturally, since you're running lakes anyway. The corruption one, as I said earlier, it also explained here, if you corrupt a map, in this case needs to be T16 maps, you may be corrupting them anyway. Sometimes they get 8 mods, and then you run them, and after 30 you are done. If you want to force this a little bit, right, and you don't want to, for some reason you want to force this a little bit, you can look at Kirak. He has corrupted maps in his thing here, right? And then if you hold Alt on it, you can count how many, I just go from top and see how many prefixes it has, and I don't think there is one right now. There's not, but very often he offers you a map that has already, that corrupted into this thing where it has 4 prefixes and 4 suffixes. If it has 4 prefixes, it always has 4 suffixes. There's no like one or the other. So if you want to force this, you can check Kirak. From time to time, every time you finish one, he's gonna give you more maps, and then you can force this a bit with Kirak or just reroll for it while you're searching for the unique map anyway. Conquering the lake, it's also just a thing of remember to put specific lake tiles at least difficulty 10, and they need to be at least tier 3, and tier 3 are the ones with the silver things on them. Do I have a lake? I do have lakes, I believe. I can show you just like a more juicy one. Okay, this one. You can right-click lakes actually to show this. So, if I understand correctly, these are tier 3 because they have like these tier 3 things on it, like tier 1 is already if there's none of these, and this is a tier 2, tier 3, and this would be a tier 4. So you just need the silver ones, and they're super common. It's a bit more difficult actually for the non-chaos, cold, fire, physical lighting ones. They show up quite rarely actually. So yeah, but still possible. Just remember to at some point, if you see like a special one that has is a bit more fancy, just put it somewhere on your lake, and while you're building the lake, keep always like at least one slot open that is 10 or above. Just keep it open in case something shows up. Put it there, run the lake. You're done. Just remember to do it. Deadly encounters. Sounds pretty hard, but it's actually not that bad. The one syndicate one, I have actually no idea. I did a random syndicate pretty early in the league, like a random mastermind that is Katarina actually. So it's not the safe houses. It's this one here, right? So you do random things here. If you don't care about getting iceling somewhere, you just do random things. Fill up these bars, right? You always press the right option, so this bar fills up at some point, and then this will become a safe house. And then if you do the safe house, the guy will go down here, and then this fills up, and at some point this is filled up, and then you can do the Katarina fight. And if you do that, I have no idea what volatile skeletons are. Maybe look up the fight before if you want to do it, but maybe it's also just because of seismic that kills everything around it. It's so AoE based, so it didn't really matter. That's how I got this one, completely randomly. Aziri, that is Uber Aziri, not normal Aziri. You need to do Uber Aziri, and you cannot be hit by the circles that grow, like the really shiny ones that grow slowly or actually quite quickly. Not the ones that are static on the ground. I don't think these matter, but the growing ones, you can just not get hit by them. So it's just a little bit of a skill check. I needed 2 tries to do that. Actually 3 because I did an early one early in the league, but when I went to do it, second try was fine. Just don't get hit by that. Kill her. And this one is done. While Omnineck, I spec'd into Alva for a bit. Just created some temples with the by putting her on the map device, the master missions. Made sure I unlocked the Omnineck dude. I don't think you need anything specific on the rooms. You just need to go to the boss. What I did is I instantly bursted him into his sitting pause phase where mobs are coming, and then after he got out of that, I just waited around, not even damaging him, until he turned on his flamethrowers. Flamethrowers come from the plain sides, not the corners, the plain sides of the Omnineck, I believe. You're just gonna see where they come from, and then you let him finish that. He's gonna waddle around and try to hit you with them. You don't get hit. At some point, he's gonna turn off his flamethrowers. You need to wait for that, and then he bursts them down, and then you got this achievement, and that's 3 of them. The other ones, Crystal King. I mean, it's stealth again. I don't think it's worth doing. The other ones are just easier, I believe, unless I was super lucky with the Mastermind, and I'm wrong there, but I don't see why you would go for the Crystal King, and I think that's Crystal Fissures is probably also harder to not get hit by. Same with Chayula in the normal Chayula fight. I think it's brutally difficult to have him use that 3 times and don't get hit, so that's weird, out of the question. But I also noticed that if you're doing the field, right, then you could technically do this during the field fight. So I don't know. Maybe. Probably not with this build. That's not what it's meant for. So yeah. Also keep in mind, if you do a normal Chayula Breachstone, that one is level 80. So you need to do it with an upgraded one. So yeah, I think do these other 3 I did. Unless Syndicate is impossible or really, really hard, and I got lucky, then probably do the Crystal King and definitely not Chayula. All in context with this specific build. Almighty Clash, that's Uber bosses. I did not do the Uber bosses myself. I didn't bother to upgrade the build. I already said that in the bossing setup video. It's not really meant for Uber bosses. You would need to add significantly more, or I would need to add significantly more money into the build just to kill Uber bosses. That's not what I want to farm. I just needed completion for Almighty Clash, so I got myself Carry Dude. Not to say the build cannot do it. The build can definitely do it. If you look at At least in my opinion, because if you look at gauntlet results and kind of things, if you have enough skill, then the damage is perfectly enough, the survivability is perfectly enough, if you're playable enough. I'm not able to do that, so maybe somebody else can. But yeah, it's way too easy to also get a carry there. You pay like 50C to witness somebody else's Maven. You just go there, he kills it, you get the thing, you don't get loot, you don't get anything, you just give the guy 50C, you're done. Ether and Searing Exarch were 60C each. Didn't find somebody offering Cyrus for the same thing, so I had a set laying around. I specced into this node real quick, got myself a person, a carry person. He joined my group. I opened the portals. He went in, did carry things, and at some point told me to join. I did. He killed the boss. And yeah, we were done with it, and I gave him, I think, 60 chaos for that. So all in total, it's like 200. What? Oh god, math while doing other things. 200 something chaos or 300 something chaos to get this done for very little, instead of investing 20 divines into the build or 10 divines into the build. It's just incredibly cheap. Yeah, or make a different build or improve this one. Do whatever you want. That's that one, and that's all the challenges. I don't know if this is useful to anybody. Probably not, and I've just talked to myself for a long time. Yeah, that's it. I think that's gonna be the last update for the build in total. Think I'm probably done with this whole thing. I have a few other things that interest me. I might do this over time. I might not. Let's see. I'm gonna look at something with like actually uber boss killing potential. I've seen some Eye of Winter stuff. Not unlikely that I will do videos about it because it's just like I won't add anything to it. I just want to see the build, like the reduced duration, reduced projectile speed stuff, like reducing stuff. I really want to get into that since it's probably going to be gone after this leak. I want to have a look at that before it's gone. So probably look at that, and yeah, also gonna work on creating a comprehensive guide, like full on, for this specific build here, and then that's probably it for the leak, unless I find something else that interests me. Yeah, that's it. Bye bye.